So I just want to remind people, in 1976, the swine flu vaccine, one serious event per 100,000 vaccines, they withdrew the vaccine. I'm old enough to remember that. In 1999, there was a rotavirus vaccine. 1 in 2 serious events per 10,000 vaccines, vaccine withdrawn. 2022, COVID-19 vaccine, 1 serious event per 800 vaccines, vaccine still officially promoted. Just keep that in mind.
So it's a feature, not a bug, is what you're telling me?
When I show you the headline from the New York Times, thousands believe COVID vaccines harm them. Is anyone listening?
No. Shut up.
So it's gotten so bad, Kurt.
What?
That the New York Times has to now start acknowledging it.
I was fine. I took it. I'm fine. What do I care about you?
This is how much trouble they're actually in, Kurt. The New York Times is forced to admit that there are vaccine injuries now. And I am so cynical at this point, but I wouldn't be surprised if Israel told them that it's okay to let stories like this out now just to take the heat off of Israel.
Dude, it's crazy that you said, because I was going to say, is there problems? Because didn't Bibi experiment on all his entire country in exchange for free vaccine to give them back the data of how? So shouldn't we have known that from our best friends after they were medically experimented on?
What are you wearing, a tinfoil yarmulke?
I want to make one and wear it.
This is big that the New York Times. There's a lot of garbage in this article, so I'm just going to give you the interesting parts. There's a lot of establishment garbage in there that tells you don't believe what you see or hear. Dr. Janet Woodcock. By the way,
what?
She was a longtime leader of the Food and Drug Administration who retired in February, said she believed that some recipients of the vax had experienced uncommon but serious and life-changing reactions beyond those described by federal agencies.
That's impossible.
Former Food and Drug Administration leader Dr. Janet Woodcock, who surprisingly had nothing to do with Viagra.
But her family did, probably. The Woodcocks. She's probably from the Woodcock Viagra fortune.
She has come forward to acknowledge life-changing reactions that are very serious involving that medical procedure.
It sounds like she's getting into UFOs or something.
Wow.
Where you've actually seen this?
Beyond those described by federal agencies, and they put it in the New York Times. So do you see how the tide is turning?
I like that this is like big news that something happened beyond what federal agencies told us.
So they're what? So it's only 4 years behind the Jimmy Dore show.
Yeah, but you're like right for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. She says, "I feel bad for those people," says Dr.
Do you? That's worth something.
Who became the FDA's acting commissioner in January 2021, just as the vaccines were rolling out.
Yeah. Look at that.
I believe their suffering should be acknowledged, that they have real problems and they should be taken seriously. Yeah, only 3.5 frickin' years later.
Well, she means that's how she comes. Oh, God, they died. Oh.
This is just a marker point for you. You can tell how much trouble the FDA is in now. Now they aren't gaslighting the way they used to. They're just throwing sacrificial and disposable former employees under the bus as damage control, because that's what that is. I am disappointed in myself.
For what? Because you're filled with safe, effective vaccine?
Boy, it takes a lot to disappoint for someone to disappoint someone who greenlit a medicine that gives you anal leakage. It takes
Which one
a
is
lot.
that?
Ozempic or whatever the fuck is it, or Limp? What is it called?
Ozempic?
I don't know. What was the one? Oh,
yeah,
Olestra.
Oh, she greenlit Olestra?
No, I'm just making a joke, Kurt. I don't know if she did.
Oh, well, I took it as misinformation, what you said.
It is misinformation. She said, "I did a lot of things I feel very good about." Yeah? Like what? Name one.
Wait, what is she talking about?
She goes, but this is one of the few things I feel I just didn't bring it home. She's talking about acknowledging vaccine injuries.
Oh, that's big of her.
That's very...
Oh, you just didn't bring it home.
She just didn't bring it home.
Oh, don't worry. A lot of people did, though, bring it home. You mean you didn't get the vaccine? So it didn't happen to you?
She goes on to say, I mean, you're not going to find brain fog in the medical records or claims data. And so then you're not going to find a signal that it may be linked to the vaccination, Dr. Woodcock said.
Well, you would if you, I don't know, I guess looked. You might, maybe if you used your fancy doctor brain as the head of a major agency.
So she sees how this is going to go down in history. That's what this is.
This is like the chick that with the Iraq and the yellow cake uranium from the New York Times. What's her head? Is it Judith? The one that?
Oh, Judith Miller.
Yeah, it's like a Judith Miller thing. Yo, Judith, you said there was a connection.
So it's amazing how many absolute abject, pompous morons there are in the medical field who can't even figure this part out and to get on the right side of history. At least she knows that. I mean, in the medical industry, they're more dummies than at a ventriloquist convention.
I thought she's faking this until we watched that other clip of the guy from the Council of Economics trying to explain. And I'm like, wait, do they not know anything? How do me and the economics guy know the same amount about economics? That's amazing.
So,
it turns out medicine.
So this is all from the New York Times. Patients who believe they experience serious side effects say they have received little support or acknowledgement.
Well, I would say downright hostility and attacks and attempts to make you lose your job.
People hate me in Hollywood now. I would say 85% of my old friends in Hollywood and comedy hate me.
In fairness, it's probably for other
because
stuff.
I told people. What's that?
In fairness, it's probably for just other stuff. Not.
Sean Barkovich, a 54-year-old nurse practitioner in New York City, has worked on clinical trials for HIV and COVID, and he said that ever since his first COVID shot, merely standing up sent his heart racing, a symptom suggestive of postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, a neurological disorder that some studies have linked to both COVID and much less often the vaccination. That's the New York Times talking.
Okay, so some studies, so you're already hedging the language into nonsense. Yes. And have linked. I don't care how much your bullshit thing linked to thing. I want to know how much was caused by that and the serious examination of those numbers. Not just another expert. Some experts link some things to do.
So just imagine if they have to admit all this, imagine what the real. He also experienced stinging pain in his eyes, mouth, and genitals, which has abated, and tinnitus, which has not. Some people say tinnitus. I say tinnitus.
Hey, my tinnitus has gone away, but my cock stopped hurting, but my tinnitus is acting up.
What's that? I can't hear you.
You tinnitus?
I can't get the government to help me, he said of this fruitless pleas to federal agencies and elected representatives. I'm told I'm not real. I'm told I'm rare. I'm told I'm a coincidence.
You know, my band was called Fruitless Pleas in high school, and that was one of our song lyrics. I'm told I'm not real.
Renee France, 49, a physical therapist in Seattle, she developed Bell's palsy, a form of facial paralysis, usually temporary, and a dramatic rash that neatly bisected her face.
Oh, like Bieber.
Bell's palsy is a known side effect of other vaccines, and it has been linked to COVID vaccination in some studies. But Dr. France said doctors were dismissive of any connection to the COVID vaccines. I know.
What?
When I went in with my nerve damage in my neck, let's call it occipital neuralgia, I had to wait 2 months to see a neurologist, and I go in, and I go, yeah, I got this from the vac. He goes, that's not from the vaccine. Just like that. He just out of hand.
Everything I've ever had where I had to go to multiple doctors to figure out what it was, it has never took less than 2 or 3 doctors before. And doctor goes, I know what that is. And wasn't smugly like, I don't know. That's why you have to go to various doctors.
Yes.
And that's why they call them second opinions.
That's right. That's called doing your own research too, by the way. You're not supposed to do that. The rash, a bout of shingles, debilitated her for 3 weeks.
Oh, my God.
And she reported it to a federal database twice. I thought for sure someone would reach out, but no one ever did.
But now I'm signed up to donate my organs.
Similar sentiments were echoed in interviews conducted over more than a year with 30 people who said they had been harmed by COVID shots. They described a variety of symptoms following vaccination, some neurological, some autoimmune, some cardiovascular.
Hey, is she going to break this to Stephen Colbert, this lady? Because he's going to be hurt by this. This guy really believed. I mean, she dropped the ball.
Yep.
Apologize to Stephen Colbert because that guy gave it his all.
All said they had been turned away by physicians, told their symptoms were psychosomatic, or labeled anti-vaccine by family and friends, despite the fact that they supported vaccines.
So half my face, as in your words, is bisected with what shingles? I go, hey, I just got the shot, and now, as you can see, I'm paralyzed on one side of my face and covered in shingles. And like, what are you, an my family? Go, what are you, an anti-vaxxer? Or, no, I'm just saying, do you think it could be a connection?
That migraine you have, it's all in your head.
Oh, my God, look at you making shit up. Are you a doctor? No, I'm just saying, it's just weird. Do you think it's possible?
Come on, that was a good joke. Your migraine's all in your head? Come on, that's a good joke.
Oh, I just realized it. I mean, I've heard it before.
Not only do you not laugh at it, then you fucking shit on it.
I'm not shitting on it.
Heard it.
I have.
Well, keep it to yourself.
But I was called out on not acknowledging it.
Even leading experts in vaccine science have run up against disbelief in leading experts.
Yeah, I noticed that. We had some on the show, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
They weren't leading no more, were they?
Dr. Gregory Poland, 68, editor-in-chief of the journal Vaccine. He said, this is true.
What are you, the editor of Vaccine Journal?
Yes. Oh. He said that a loud whooshing sound in his ears had accompanied every moment since his first shot, but that his entreaties to colleagues at the Center for Disease Control and Prevention to explore the phenomenon tinnitus had led nowhere. Simple explanation for this, Kurt. That loud whooshing noise in your ear is the sound of all the good faith people had in the medical industry going right down the toilet.
I hope for him, too. I hope his faith as editor of the journal Vaccine, I hope his faith has been shattered at least. Shouldn't it be at that point?
You would think. He received a polite response to his many emails, but I just don't get any sense of movement. If they have done studies, those studies should be published, Dr. Poland added. In despair that he might never hear silence again, he has sought solace in meditation and his religious faith.
Oh, my dear God. Is everyone kidding? So it's like half of them are completely corrupt. The other half are too Pollyanna to go, hey, I think something fishy's going on. It couldn't be the whole thing's a scam, right?
No, it's not.
Shut up,
Kurt,
it's not. Dad's sleeping, he's drunk.
I have to say again that this vaccine is safe and effective, and these are rare. Dr. Buddy Creech, 50, who led several COVID vaccine trials at Vanderbilt University, he said his tinnitus and racing heart lasted about a week after the shot. And
after each.
After each shot.
How many did you get, buddy?
Well, I say that's what he gets for being in medicine and not going into the blues where his name belongs.
That's very fair. Buddy Creech.
Went
down to the drugstore, got a vaccine in my home. Now I hear a ringing in my ears.
Federal health officials say they do not believe that the COVID vaccine caused the illness described by patients like Mr. Berkovich or Dr. Zimmerman and Dr. France.
Oh, well, it's a matter of faith, I suppose. Federal health officials. So is that like a doctor? What does that fucking mean?
Liar asked if liar is a liar. Liar emphatically stated, no, I'm not a liar. That's what that is.
Well, we don't believe it. Will there be studies? No, we don't believe. Why do I do? It's like Biden taking a brain test. Why do I do that for?
We asked.
Come on,
we
man.
asked the federal liars at the Federal Liar Agency if they are liars. They said no.
Boy, they really still overestimate when you put federal in front of a thing.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of striking fear in your heart with the great level of conviction rate, sure. With trusting you on any level, how do you still think anybody trusts you on? Well, you said we haven't got that story yet. The January 6th.
Hang on. The vaccines may cause transient reactions such as swelling, fatigue, and fever, according to the CDC, but the agency has documented only 4 serious but rare side effects.
Oh, trans reactions. That's good. So there is good news.
It's good news. At least they're inclusive.
Yeah.
They're having trans reactions.
Swelling. That's my breast coming in.
2 are associated with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which is no longer available in the United States. Guillain-Barré syndrome, a known side effect of other vaccines, including the flu shot, and blood clotting disorder.
Whoa, how'd you get a thing you can't pronounce from your shot?
I like how that the vaccine they deny that it's no problems with our shots. There's no problem. Oh yeah, that one we got rid of.
Hey, I'm a doctor in charge of Flu Shot magazine, and I got sick from my flu shot. I don't believe you.
The vaccine manufacturers, Kurt, they deny that their product has any negative side effects, and just the same people who said OxyContin is not addictive.
Yeah,
yeah.
There was the same people who said heroin was a non-addictive alternative to morphine.
That's right.
That's why we have heroin.
That's why we have heroin. Heroin was
a non-addictive substitute.
And then I shit you not, Kurt. They said heroin was the cure for morphine addiction, and then when they figured out heroin was addictive, you know what they said what the cure for that was?
Oxy.
Cocaine.
Oh, cocaine. That's right. Well, yeah. I mean, you'll try anything when you have them withdrawals. Maybe
I learned that because I went and saw Freud on Cocaine, written by Howie Score, friend of the show. Hilarious play. Yeah, OxyContin is an addictive, Kurt. It's just for those rare occasions when someone wants the world to go away.
I called it buzz-affirming care.
The CDC also linked mRNA vaccines made by Pfizer and Moderna to heart inflammation or myocarditis, especially in boys and young men. And the agency warns of anaphylaxis or severe allergic reaction, which can occur after any vaccination.
Well, what about climate change? How does that figure in here?
Hey, when did the CDC says this?
Yeah.
When did the CDC become anti-Semitic? That's Russia.
After they let those tests run on all those Jews in Israel.
Everybody knows it's perfectly natural for young men and women to suddenly have heart attacks for no reason. It's part of why we sign up to be an American.
That's why you got to stop using gas-powered leaf blowers, because you're giving these kids heart attacks with your carbon emissions.
So anyway, I'm not saying anything. I think the vaccine is safe and effective, and everybody should be up. If you're keeping count, you should be on your 9th booster, and it's fantastic for you. And the CDC, the FDA, still recommends it for babies and everybody. So it's fantastic.
I don't even want to know this much that you said.
I can't believe New York Times. This is considered maybe doing my own research, which I shouldn't be doing. Just reading this article, I feel like I'm doing a bit of research.
This is worse than doing your own research. This is like how you shouldn't do psychedelics because it's a form of witchcraft.
Yeah,
I feel like I just participated in witchcraft.
That's how I feel too.
You gotta stay away from that stuff.
I hope I don't make anyone vaccine hesitant by reading this New York Times article.
Oh, you might have.
I hope not, because the vaccines are safe and effective, and they certainly don't stop transmission or contraction of the virus, but they do slow it somehow.
Ask Justin Bieber.
Kid's
been through a lot.
Over to Steph.
Jimmy, how does your heart feel? Does your heart swell?
My heart, come to me.
Dr. Jimmy.
Kurt, how does your heart feel?
Like I understand the true meaning of Christmas.
That's right. My heart swells with pride every time I get a vaccine.
I want to thank my dad, Joe Biden. And my mom.
And Mamala.
And Mamala.
I want to thank my dad. Hey, by the way, don't run the economy like a household, but Joe Biden's your dad.
Okay, over to Steph.
I don't want to shower with him. Hey,
No.
Lori Lamb. I love it when Jimmy says how his heart swells with pride that he took that vaccine. Thank you, Lori.
I might not have been on a black family's porch. I think I was actually showering with my daughter now that I think about
it. Yeah, you showered.
My mom said, remember that time you were showering with your daughter and you got arrested? I confused it.
And then he became president. I, too, recently lost my local pizza place that uses a proper oven. It's a real tragedy. Thank you, Rocket Mummy. The nutritional value of an ear of corn depends on the soil quality, precipitation, etc. You mean chemicals? I know that's not the point, but it's a stupid analogy. My real name. All right, let's see here. Get Ellen Brown on, author of Web of Debt. Okay. What if we focused on real stuff, not money? Oh, I read that one. Jimmy, Oh, I read that one. Remember Julian Assange? We think hunter-gatherism is in the past and civilization is modern, but that's not it. Hunter-gatherism is the natural, healthy form of society, and civilization is the bloated, addicted, sick form. SS. Vaccine mandates were one issue my union threatened to strike over in 2022. We won that one. Lorian article, How Hunter-Gatherers Maintain Their Egalitarian Ways, by Dr. Peter Gray. Hunter-gatherers, 99% of human history, are fiercely egalitarian. SS. To Professor Wolf, has your views on the lockdown changed since 2021? You seem to be more receptive to them, but I could have misinterpreted your words. Josh. Marxism can still be authoritarian. Instead of your boss telling you what to do, it's the community. Grizzly Blue. Free Palestine. Jim. Is it natural competitive tendencies, or is it greed born out of dysfunctional, damaging parenting? Human nature is naturally cooperative, not competitive unless you mess up kids. Ask Gabor Mate about this. SS. Interview
Okay.
Carlos El Garrido from
Isn't it swell? The memes make themselves. They found a rabbi hole, tunnels and all. There's Jews in the walls. Isn't it bliss? The rabbinical grace soiling the mattresses. Well, let me tell you. If I were Rabbi Shmuley and diddle 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 digga digga diddle diddle dum, all day long I'd diddle little bums. If I were a Shmuley man, I'd peddle all my dildos, dreidel dildos, selling dildos with my daughter and her mum. If I were a Jewish Shmuley man, I'd be digging with a dildo in my bum. I'd wear a grotesque nose and go grab some goyim right on the nipple with a pinch. A Shabbos lap dance brace for the youngest mensch.
Hey, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there for more AM Joy and the rest of MSNBC. And click on any of the videos right here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. And you can get more videos from MSNBC for free every day with our newsletter. Just visit